If you're on the fence between whether or not you want to trade with Take Profit or Topstep, today I'm going to be comparing them both. That way you can make the right decision on which prop firm you want to choose to trade with. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to be breaking down is the account size and the price of the accounts. So on Take Profit, you get the option of 5 different account sizes between the 25K accounts and the 150K accounts. The 25K account is going to be $150 per month. You have a profit target of $1,500. You get 3 contracts of 30 micros. You have a $500 loss limit, and you get $1,500 worth of drawdown. Your 50K account is going to be $170 per month. You get 3K for the profit target. You get 6 contracts or 60 micros. You get $1,100 for your daily loss limit and a $2,000 daily drawdown. And these are all trailing drawdowns for the drawdown types. The 75K is $245 per month, $4,500 for the profit target. You get 9 contracts or 90 micros, $1,600 for your daily loss limit, and $2,500 for the end of day trailing drawdown. Your 100K account is going to be $330 for the month, $6,000 profit target, 12 contracts, 120 micros, $2,200 for your daily loss limit, and then your trailing drawdown is $3K. And then the last account type is the 150K account. That account is $360 for the month, 9K profit target, 15 contracts or 150 micros, $3,300 for your daily loss limit, and $4,500 for your end of day trailing drawdown. Now, I know these accounts seem a little bit more expensive. However, right now, they are running a 40% off sale. So you can take 40% off of each one of these accounts. So they are a little bit cheaper. So if we're just using the 50K account, you're going to be paying about $102 per month for the 50Ks. On top of that, the resets for each account is $100. So if you need to reset your account, it's going to be $100 to reset the account. And then on top of that, there is no activation fee right now for the special that they're running. So you're getting 40% off and no activation fee. If you're interested in that, you can use my code JSEALS, and that'll save you the 40% and the no activation. Okay, so let's assume that you pass on your first try without having to reset the account. Because there's no activation fee, right now you would only be paying $90 for the 25K account, $102 for the 50K account, $147 for the 75K account, $198 for the 100K account, and then $216 for the 150K account total if you pass, because there's no activation fee. So that is a really big deal. That'll save you money. And when we go compare the pricing to Topstep, you want to just put that in there and know that you're saving some money without having to pay for the activation fee, because there is an activation fee on Topstep. On Topstep, you only have 3 different size accounts to choose from. The 50K account, which is $50 per month. You have a $3,000 profit target. You get 5 contracts, and your maximum loss limit is $2,000. They also have a daily loss limit, which is going to be $1,000 for the 50K accounts, but it won't blow your account if you hit the daily loss limit. The 100K account is $100 per month. You have a $6,000 profit target. You get 10 contracts, and your maximum loss limit is $3K, and it's $2K for the daily loss limit. The 100K account is the final size account that they have. It's $150 per month. The profit target's $9,000. It's 15 cons, and it is a $4,500 maximum loss limit, and then the daily loss limit is $3,000. Wow, that 3 is horrible. But y'all get the picture. One thing that you might notice is that the monthly prices are already slashed. There's no extra promo. They don't run any deals on Topstep because these prices have been slashed, I think, by like, I don't know how much percentage it is, but they've been slashed for a while now. They came out and said that they were going to raise the prices, but they never have. I think these are just going to be the prices forever. So just if you notice that, they don't do any extra promos. And then their reset fee is whatever the account costs. So for 50K, the reset fee is going to be $50. The 100K, the reset's going to be $100. And then the 150, the reset is going to be $150. And then on top of that, they do have their one-time activation fee of $150. So assuming that you pass on the first try, you're going to be paying $200 for the total account. On the 50Ks, on the 100Ks, you're going to be paying $250. And then on the 150Ks, you're going to be paying $300 total. And that's if you don't have any resets or you don't take longer than a month. That's how much it's going to cost total to get you to the actual funded portion and actually be able to take money out of these accounts. Okay, so I just wanted to break down how much you'll be paying if you end up passing on your first try. So on Take Profit, if you have a 50K account, then you'll be spending $102 right now with their current promo for everything if you pass on the first try. If you wait until they do what they normally have going, which is a 50% off, plus the fee, which is $130 for the activation, you'd be paying $215, which is actually more than what you're paying for Topstep, which is only $200 per month. So right now, the Take Profit accounts are like almost $100 cheaper for the 50K accounts if you pass in the first try. The 100K account is going to be $198 total. When you have the 50% off plus the activation fee, it comes to $295. And then the Topstep is only $250. And then for the 150K, your Take Profit is going to be $216 total right now with the current promo that they have going on. But if you wait and you get the 50% off plus the fee, then it's going to be $340. And again, Topstep is going to be a little bit cheaper at $300. So just some numbers that you want to be aware of when you're trying to make your decision between Topstep and Take Profit, which one that you want to use. And then obviously knowing when they're running these deals on Take Profit, that way you can kind of make your decision on which account's going to be cheaper and which account's going to be right for you. Take Profit has their core 6 rules that you need to follow in order to pass your eval account and then also to stay within your pro accounts, which is just your funded accounts. So the first thing you need to do is hit your profit target when you're in your eval. Do not exceed your maximum position size. So when we went over the account sizes, I also talked about the position size for each account. Just make sure that you don't get more positions than what the account says you can have. You can't hit your daily loss limit. So again, we went over that in your account sizes. So when you're choosing your account, just make sure that you know what your daily loss limit is because you can't go over that loss limit. Don't hit your end of day trailing drawdown. So there's 2 different things you got to be aware of on Take Profit. One is the daily loss limit, which you can't hit, but then your overall end of day trailing drawdown, you also can't hit. So you can't hit your end of day trailing drawdown on day 1 because if you hit your daily loss limit, that's going to be before your entire trailing drawdown. So just make sure that you know that when you're trading. Rule number 5, which we're going to dig into a little bit deeper, is making sure you trade the approved products during the approved hours. And then being consistent is the last rule. And we'll dive in deeper with the consistency rules that Take Profit has. When you're trading futures, the futures market opens up at 6 p.m. Eastern and it closes at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you need to make sure that you aren't holding any trades past 5 p.m. or it'll result in a account failure. So just make sure that you're closing your trades out by the end of the day and that you're not holding any trades after 5 p.m. And then if you are a swing trader, then what you can do is you can reopen up your position with your profits at 6 p.m. So that's kind of a way to get around the day trading is if you want to hold all day, just make sure you close before 5 and then you can reopen right at 6. And then they have their consistency rules. So to pass the combine accounts, you have to trade for a minimum of 5 days. So within those 5 days, your best profit can't exceed more than 50%, or your best day can't exceed 50% of your total profits, right? So basically your highest profit day divided by your total profit will equal your consistency percentage. So if you go over 50%, it's not a failure. They're just going to add on more money that you have to make. So here it is in action, just so that you can see. If you have a 50K account and your profit target's 3K, if you make $2,000, that's your biggest day. and your total is going to be 3,000, then you're going to have a 65% consistency, and you need to get it down to that 50%. So they're going to add on an extra, basically additional $1,000 you got to make to get yourself under the 50%. So just make sure that you know what you're doing when it comes to the trading. You can't make too much in a single day. It's not a bad thing. It's not overly negative. It's just that you got to make more. There's not much difference between take profit and Topstep when it comes to the rules in the eval accounts. So their only rule is just don't hit your maximum loss limit. And to pass, all you got to do is just hit your profit target. And then they have that same consistency rule where your best day has to be below 50% of your total profits. But the major difference is how quickly you can get funded. It only takes 2 days to get funded in Topstep. So if you're in a 50K account, you can make $1,500 the first day and then make $1,500 the second day, and you're good to go. You'll pass. So that is one of the benefits to Topstep. The other benefit to Topstep is that you can hit your daily loss limit and it'll just deactivate your account for the trading day instead of on take profit. If you hit your daily loss limit, you fail. So that is a big difference between the two. So I'll say there's probably less rules when it comes to Topstep. And so it's a little, I wouldn't say it's any easier to get funded, but it's just a little bit less rules that you have to worry about when you're talking about your eval portion. Once you get into your funded accounts, which they call a pro account on take profit, there are a few other rules you need to be aware of. One of the rules is the fact that they want you to continue to trade, and you need to trade at least 1 day per calendar week to keep your account active and open. They call it squatting, so you just need to make sure that you're trading your account at least 1 day per week. They also removed the consistency rule, which is really nice because now it doesn't matter how well you trade. You can make as much money as you want, and they're not going to hold the payout against you if you have like a $10,000 day and the next day you only have like $100. They're not going to hold that against you, which is really good because some prop firms do, and they make it hard to get your money out. They also change your drawdown from an intraday or into an intraday trailing drawdown from an end of day trailing drawdown. That does make things a little bit different from when you were trading in the eval stage, because now the drawdown is going to follow you during your trades and not at the end of the day. So if you have unrealized gains, those gains go against you, meaning let's say you're up $500 in a trade and you close at $400. They're going to act like you made the $500, and that's what they're going to count against you in your trailing drawdown. So even though you closed at 400, they'll act like you made the 500, so you'll actually be at a minus $100 loss. And I have a whole video explaining drawdown, intraday, and trailing drawdown, so I'll link that in the cards to kind of further explain that piece. But yeah, that's a big change for take profit. And then they also add a news rule as well, where you can't trade during the news in the pro account. You have to be out of all positions 1 minute before, during, and after the news event. So FOMC, you can't trade during that time. You are allowed to trade during Fed speakers. NFP and CPI are all trading events that a lot of traders like to trade, or not like to trade, but those are the most volatile, or some of the most volatile news events that we can trade. And Take Profit doesn't want you trading during those times, and you can blow your pro account if you do have a trade open. Some other news events that they don't want you trading is crude oil inventories and also the bond auctions. So just some other times where you're prohibited to trade, but that's only for trading crude oil and then the 10-year note and the 30-year bond. So if you're a crude oil trader or a bond trader, just be aware of that as well. Once you passed your Combine account on Topstep, they put you into an XFA account, which is their express funded account. Basically, you know, it's just the next step on your journey. And they only have one rule in that account, and that is just don't let your account balance go below or hit your maximum loss limit. That's the only rule that they have. You can trade during news. You can trade during whatever times you want. Just don't hit that maximum loss limit on the day or total. But they do have one little hidden rule it's kind of a handicap, kind of not, and that is their scaling plan. So let's talk about their scaling plan. Topstep does have a scaling plan that Take Profit doesn't have. So when you pass your eval account and you get to your XFA account, you can't trade the full amount of contracts given anymore until you hit a certain dollar amount. So on a 50K account, you can't trade more than 2 contracts when you're below $1,500. And then $1,500 to $2,000, it's 3. And then above $2,000, it's 5. And then it goes kind of the same way for the 100 and the 150K accounts. So below 1,500, it's 3 lots a piece. 1,500 to 2,000, it's 4. And then 2,000 to 3,000, it's 5. And then above 3,000, you get your full 10 lots. And then for the 150K above 4,500, you get the 15 lots. So that's how it works when you're in your funded accounts. But there's a little bit of a caveat to that. So with Topstep X, they've done what the people wanted them to do in the first place and given you a 1-to-1, right? So my problem has always been this scaling plan. I'm cool with playing 2 minis, but not 2 micros, right? That's, in my opinion, that's not fair. They should be calculated as a 1-to-1 where 1 mini is equal to 10 micros because that's truly what it is, right? And so on Topstep X, they actually do allow that where they let you trade 2 minis, it equals the 20 micros, okay? So you do get the 20 micros, and that's on Topstep X, as you see right here. Now, Topstep X isn't available to the public just yet. However, it will be available soon. I don't know when the release is going to be. I have Topstep X right now. I plan on doing a video on Topstep X breaking down the platform. I really like the platform of Topstep X. I like all the features that they have. I think they're still working out some kinks with Topstep X. But when Topstep X is released to everybody, I think a lot of people will choose Topstep X because you can trade the full mini size of the 20 micros when you're below the 1,500, right? So I can choose 15 or 10 or 7 or whatever amount of micros I want. And it's just a much more comfortable spot to be in. And then the last thing that I wanted to briefly mention is the Pro Plus accounts. So the Pro Plus accounts are the live accounts for Take Profit. It's basically the same thing as going live on Topstep. The rules are exactly the same. There's really no difference between the Pro Plus and the Pro accounts other than now it's a live account. Same thing with the XFAs and going live on Topstep. It's pretty much the same thing. I hear on Topstep that you can kind of bargain with them to change some rules about the daily loss limit and some other things, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. The only difference is the profit splits on the Pro Plus accounts are different, but I'm going to talk about that when I talk about the payouts. So let's get into talking about the payouts for both of these platforms. The great thing about Take Profit is that they don't have any rules on their withdrawals when it comes to when you can withdraw. You can withdraw at any time whenever the money is available to you while you're trading. So just to start out with, the profit split in the Pro account is 80-20, and then where you keep 80%, but once you reach the Pro account, it goes up to a 90-10 profit split. So you start out with 80-20, and then once you get to the Pro Plus, which I believe you have to make like $5,000, then you are eligible for the Pro Plus. It goes to a 90-10 profit split. But we'll just keep with the 80-20 because that's what we're talking about right now. And that's where you start out with anyway. So for a 50K account, and this is just the example that they use, but for a 50K account, you need to reach what they call the buffer zone, and that's $2,000, which is also your maximum drawdown. So in a 100K account, it's going to be $3,000. So that's your maximum drawdown or your buffer. And then for a 150K account, I believe it's 4K. is what the buffer zone is, right? So once you hit your buffer zone, that's the area where it's buffering you from blowing your account. And then after that, all the rest of the money becomes yours that you can take out. So let's say you make $3,000. Well, you can take out now that $1,000 and then you leave the $2,000 in there because that's your buffer from blowing your account, right? So if you lose the 2,000, then your account will be blown. Now, the other thing is if you decide to close your account, then that $2,000 buffer will be yours. So pretty much what they'll do is if you take out 1,000, let's say you take out 3,000, you're just like, I want everything. I want the whole 3K. What they'll do is they'll give you 80% of the $1,000 and then you'll take the whole $2,000 and then your account will be closed. So that's kind of how their profit split and the withdrawals rules work. And once you're at that buffer zone, you can request a payout that day if you want it. So there's no time that you have to wait in between making the money and taking your profits, which a lot of people like. And then the other thing too is if you do end up blowing the pro account, you can actually reset the pro account and you will end up starting over at zero. But it is expensive. I will say it is expensive to reset the pro account if you blow it. I don't know the exact number. They calculate it depending on like how much money you have in there. And there's like a whole different thing that they do. So it's not going to be the same for everybody, but I do know it is on the more expensive side. And honestly, it's probably cheaper, especially if you're a good trader and just something happened. It's cheaper to just get a whole new eval account and just start over, honestly, in my opinion. But just saying the option is there. In Topstep, you just have to get 5 winning days of $200 or more for you to be able to take out profits. And it doesn't matter whether you're in a 50K, 100K, or 150K, that rule remains the same. Just 5 winning days, and they don't have to be in a row, just 5 winning days of $200 or more, and you could take out 50% of your profits. So let's say in those 5 winning days, you make $10,000, you could take out $5,000 of profit, and it's going to be a 90-10 split all the time on Topstep. As well as the first $10,000 is yours too. They don't even take any split for the first 10K. So really, really nice there. And then unlike Take Profit, they don't have the option to reset an express funded account. So once you blow the express funded account, that's it. You have to restart over on a new trading account. So they're really similar. Oh, and the other thing too is there's no consistency rule either. So that is the same as Take Profit. So if you make like $10,000 in a day, and then you just want to slowly work your way through the next 4 days of $200 or more, then you can do that. And the other thing that I forgot to mention as well is this rule for the 5 winning days, it only lasts for 30 days. After 30 winning green days of $200 or more, at that point, it becomes just like Take Profit. You can take profits whenever you want. So pretty much those first 30 days are you pretty much building your buffer while still being able to take profits out of your account and pay yourself. And then after those 30 days, you can go crazy, make as much as you want and take out money whenever you want. And it's still going to be that 90-10 profit split. But you can make $10,000 one day and decide you want to take out, $7,000 and you'll take 90 and they'll take 10. So that is how the payouts work for Topstep. I really hope that this video helped you decide which one of these 2 prop firms is right for you. If you like this video and you want to support the channel, I have affiliate codes that are at no extra cost to you down in the comments below so that you can get the deal on Take Profit as well as supporting the channel using a Topstep code or a Topstep link that'll take you to the Topstep website. If you do want to try Topstep for your next eval account, I really appreciate you guys. If you have any questions at all about either one of these prop firms, leave them down in the comments and I will make sure to answer your questions. And if you want more information about Topstep, then I have a review video that you can watch right over here.